When Mike Zimmer took over the Vikings in 2014, one of the refreshing things at the time was Zimmer demanding accountability, except then he didn't really dial it in. Like, he cranked it up to 11, constantly calling out players in the media, and it's just like, there's a balance to be struck there. Enter Kevin O'Connell, sort of the Ted Lasso, buddy. Hey, I can relate to you players because I'm literally 8 days younger than Matt Ryan, sort of deal. But he hasn't found like the right balance of being able to call out the players through the media, but also get the best out of them, and then also still have that culture of everyone's happy, everything's awesome, that whole thing. But Kevin O'Connell, he dipped his toe. He dipped his toe into the water talking about superstar edge rusher Danielle the Real Deal Hunter. Now, Danielle Hunter, essentially in a contract year with the Vikings, got paid an $18 million rooster bonus. Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell decided to bet on Danielle Hunter, and he's been fine, but we know that he's much better than just a fine player. And Kevin O'Connell had some comments on it, and it could be read as a little bit of praise as well as a little bit of, come on. This is from Andrew Kramer, Star Tribune. O'Connell and Danielle Hunter. Danielle has had some real moments for us, but like our whole team and all our coaches, we're just looking for consistency across the board. Ooh, spicy. And when we get opportunities to finish those plays, do it with. He's got a great skill set. What's the detail look like? What are we going to do to help him schematically? All those things coming to play, but Danielle will continue to affect the quarterback like he's done his whole career. Can coaches adjust with 99, or do they have 99 problems? O'Connell, yeah, I mean, you look at some of the early down plays. I look back at the first drive, the last weekend, Danielle does an unbelievable job on the edge and really makes a play himself to defeat the block at the tight end with physicality. But Danielle has continued to just, I think, progress towards playing his best football here towards the end of the season, hopefully, and he's done everything we've asked of him. He's been a great teammate, great in the locker room, and will continue to make a lot of plays for us. So, a lot of praise, but also there was a little bit of criticism, a little bit of, hey, you can step up, a little bit of, hey, a consistency across the board. And it's a smart way of doing it where you're not singling out the individual player, but you're talking about the whole team and our coaches. Like, all of us, we need to be more consistent, and that includes Danielle Hunter. Plus, talking about changing things schematically, I think that was Kevin O'Connell talking to Ed Donatell. Like, hey, we need to find ways where, F the scheme. At this point of the season, F the schemes. Like, hey, it will take time to transition him to a full-time stand-up outside linebacker. He's really good at putting his hand in the dirt and going after the quarterback and putting his ass on the ground. So I think the Vikings need to get back to some of that. And Danielle, we had this graphic from early in the day, so it's got Za'Darius and Danielle this season, and Danielle has 7 sacks, 49 pressures so far, but his productivity has tapered off. Like, it sort of peaked in the middle of the season, about the same time as Za'Darius and the rest of the pass rush, because people forget. I know a lot of Vikings fans are crying in the breast milk because of what's happened the last 4 games, and the pass rush has essentially been inert, but the Vikings, middle of the season, had one of the most ferocious pass rushes in the National Football League, and they can still get back to that. But Za'Darius has had 1 sack in the last 6 weeks, even though he's getting there with pressure. Well, maybe not the Dallas game, but no one got home in the Dallas game. And then Danielle, 1 sack in the last 4 games, and he does only have 11 pressures in the last 4 games, so it's averaging out to 2 and some change, and that's not good. You expect a lot more from Danielle Hunter, and you do expect those 90 pressure, 14.5 sack seasons that he had in 2018, 2019, and this season, I mean, he's been fine. 13 games, 7 sacks, certainly behind the pace of 14.5, but sort of is what it is as he's learning a new position and transitioning in the scheme. But a decision has to be made. So Danielle is going to be 29 next season, and he's due a $4.9 million base salary. Now, it's an interesting situation, the way that they calculate his $18 million rooster bonus, and that it also adds void years to his contract. So the Vikings, he's got a $13.12 million cap hit, but it would be 18 and change if they just straight up cut him. So that's not going to happen. So they have to decide if they want to extend him, because as of right now, that base salary ain't going to hunt with Danielle Hunter. And also, they have to decide if they're going to re-sign him or if they're going to trade him. So this is a big end of the season for Danielle Hunter, and it's big for the Vikings to see what happens. But I truly believe that Danielle Hunter is still absolutely elite. I think that he's a multi-sack per game guy. I think that he's still very good setting the edge against the run, things that don't show up in the stat sheet. There's a reason why he was the Vikings' highest graded PFF player from the Lions debacle. But we can get more. We can get more. And I do like what Kevin O'Connell is doing here. It's like, hey, we can be more consistent. We can get after things. Danielle had a great middle of the season production run. I think we can get back to that. We need it for the stretch run. We certainly need it for the playoffs. And let's get back to where we once belong. But your thoughts are thoughts. Kevin O'Connell talked about Danielle Hunter. Just a little bit of criticism, a lot of praise. But I think that he's spot on there. Let us know your thoughts on our thoughts and his thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But until next time, Skull Production Value.